Welcome to fifth video of this DBMS tutorial series. In this video, we will be discussing two things mainly. One is what is Biased normal form. The other one is for a table to be called as it follows Biased normal form, what are the necessary conditions it has to satisfy. So these two things will be focused in this video. Biased normal form, no reverse dependency. Right. For a table to be called as it follows Biased normal form, it has to satisfy two conditions. The first one is the table should be already in third normal form. So only then it can be checked for Biased normal form. And the one more point, Biased normal form is called as 3.5 normal form because it is more or less similar to third normal form, but one more strict condition must be applied. So it is otherwise called as 3.5 normal form, and we will come back to the concept. The table should be already in third normal form, and then there should not be any reverse dependency. What do you mean by the term reverse dependency? So I have explained in this third point, for every dependency, column A depends on column B where A is a super key. So usually how dependency will be, a non-primary key column will be dependent on primary key column. So this is what the actual dependency will be. But in case a super key or a primary key column that is dependent on a non-primary key column, that is what reverse dependency is. We will have a detailed look on reverse dependency in the next slide. Let us take this table as an example. We have three columns: register number, register number of a student, and registered course, and the professor who is going to handle that course. So we have three columns and four records. Before looking into what is reverse dependency, we have two tasks to do. One is we have to fix a exact primary key for this table, and then we have to look for what are the dependencies that exist in this table. So first we need to fix a primary key. What do you mean by a primary key? A primary key is nothing but a column that uniquely identifies each record in this table. In not only this table, in every table. To make it simple, in simpler words, let us take register number column as primary key for an example. In case if it is primary key, if I give a single register number, for example ABC002, if this column is able to give single record as a result set, then that column is apt to be act as primary key. In case instead of giving single row, if it gives multiple rows, then it is not suitable for having it as a primary key. For example, in this table, shall we keep register number as a primary key? It is not possible because a student can register multiple courses. So in case if ABC001 registers Java and then ABC001 registers again for C, then in that case if I give ABC001, I will get two records as a result. So register number column cannot be used as primary key, right? Let us jump to the second column. Whether the course column can be kept as primary key, it is definitely not possible because number of students will learn single course, not a single student. So if I give single course name, I will not get a single record. Instead, I will get multiple records. So this column is also not possible. And we will jump to the third column, professor. Whether this professor column can be fixed as primary key, it is not possible because a single professor, there will be multiple students who register for a course under single professor name. So this column is also not possible. So we can conclude that individually all the three columns is not suitable for primary key. Okay, let us check for a candidate key, which means combination of two or more columns can form a primary key. Let us take register number and course. Let us check for this condition. If I able to give a register number and a course name, whether will I get the exact professor name? Yes, it is possible because a student can register a course under single professor. He cannot learn a same course under two or more professors. So obviously register number and course column combined together form a candidate key, so that is primary key, right? So we have first task completed, primary key is fixed. The second task is to find all the dependencies. Okay, what is the actual dependency a table should have? All the non-primary key columns must be dependent on primary key columns. So whether if I able to give a single professor name, if I get register number and course, yes, professor name is dependent on register number plus course name. So the actual dependency is professor column is dependent on candidate key. So the actual dependency is verified. Alright, now two tasks is completed. Primary key is fixed and dependency is verified. So professor non-primary key column that is dependent on candidate key, that is combination of register number and course, right? We have one more hidden dependency is there here. So to find this hidden dependency, I will raise two questions. So the answer for that question will be the dependency. The first question is, I will give a course name and I should get single professor name as output. Whether it is possible? No, it is definitely not possible. And the second question is, I will give a professor name and I should get a single course name. Whether is it possible? And yes, it is possible now, because the answer is a professor will handle only one course. If I give a professor name, definitely he must be handling single subject, so that subject name can be returned. But a single course will be handled by multiple professors. For example, more than 60 students, for example 120 students, two professors will be handling that 120 strength. So with these two questions, if I give a course name, I cannot get single professor name. So professor column is not dependent on course column. And the second question, if I give a professor name and if I get a single course name as a result, yes, it is. If I give the professor name as frame, I will definitely get the name course Java as a result. So the course column is dependent on professor with these two questions. And coming back to our previous slide, the last point, column A that depends on column B, where A is a super key. So this is the exact condition that is happened in this table. Column A, that is course, that is dependent on professor column B, where A is a super key. So super key is nothing but a part of a primary key or a part of a candidate key. So we have primary key as combination of register number and course. So course is a part of primary key and hence it is super key. This super key is dependent on professor because a professor will handle only one course, but a single course will be handled by multiple professor. So if I give a single course name, I cannot get a single professor name, hence multiple professor name will be written. But if I give a single professor name, I can get single course name as a result. So this super key column course is dependent on non-primary key column professor. So this is called as reverse dependency. So usually non-primary key column must be dependent on primary key columns. Here this is what a primary key column, I mean a super key column, is dependent on non-primary key column. So this reverse dependency must be avoided or must be eliminated for this table to be called as it follows Boyce-Codd normal form. So let us see how it is possible. So as usual in our previous normal forms, what we did, we have splitted the table and as per the condition. So we will do the same, almost similar thing in this concept also. We will split this table, we will have register number and we will allot professor ID for each professor. And we will have register number and professor ID in a single table, and professor ID and his professor name and course will be in second table. So this is our idea behind. We will have register number and professor ID in a table, and professor ID mapped with his exact professor name and the course that he handles. So this will be in second table. So for the first table, what will be the primary key? The same concept. If I give ABC 001, will I get a single record as output? No, because register number, a single student will register multiple courses, so under multiple professors. So I'll not get a single record as an output. So register number alone cannot act as primary key, and obviously professor ID cannot alone act as primary key because multiple students will register the same course under same professor. So finally, the combination of register number and professor ID will be a candidate key, that is primary key. And as per this table, there is no non-primary key column in this table, first table. Right. Coming to second table, we have only one row as a primary key because P1, P2, P3, P4. If I give I mean, if I give a single professor ID, I will get a single row in return, because a single professor ID will not be allocated for multiple professors. So professor ID alone is a primary key, and the non-primary key columns professor name and course is directly dependent on professor ID. So here in this both table, there is no reverse dependency. So all the reverse dependency that existed in this table is eliminated in splitting this table into two. So that is what we have explained here. Remove the column professor and course and add professor ID. So professor and course is removed from this table and professor ID is added here, and add a new table with professor ID, professor name and course. So the second table is new one, adding professor ID with professor name and course, that is removed from here and added here. Now the reverse dependency is removed, and this table can be called as it follows Boyce code normal form. Hope this video is useful. In case any queries or feedback, you can leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Keep supporting us.